If your church doesn't have any man then you can visit several other churches, okay? Come down to reality, get some counselors, get some mentors, sprucing up the way you look, be prayerful, go to this event, talk to this person, be bold and be like, Lord, I want to be married. Please bring my husband, please bring my wife. Speak to these people who have ministries which are centered around bringing people together. Hi guys, it's me, Ray, and let's talk. So in this video, we are going to be talking about how the church is keeping you single. The Bible is such a beautiful book. I know there's some people out there that have their own reservations about the Bible, but let me tell you, that book changed my life. There's so many wonderful insights you can find in the Bible. This book is so amazing, and as I've said, you can find so many insights. And on the other hand, because there's so many beautiful insights, some people find it, some people take some great things in the Bible and twist and flip it and manipulate it to suit their own agenda. Where am I going with this? You know, there's a Bible verse that says, faith without works is dead. Right. But there are occasions where different Christian sects will emphasize the faith bit alone, or just put emphasis on the work bit, not really making reference to two. However, there are some that will make reference to the importance of having faith and works. Right, where are you going with this, with the church is trying to keep you single? Have you heard them just say, when you're saying you want to be with someone, they just have a tendency to say, just pray about it. Faith without works is very dead. So telling people to just pray about situation is probably not the best advice. If it is your desire to be married and you believe that God has called you to marriage, then there are some practical things that you probably need to do in order to put yourself in the best position, right, to be happily married. An example is like go to church. Okay, let's start from there. Going to church. If your church doesn't have any man then you can visit several other churches, okay? As you're doing this, be praying as well for God's direction. Another thing you can do here is invest in a relationship coach, a Christian relationship coach. If you want one, let me know. Leave me a comment or send me an email. I can signpost you to a fairly decent one, okay? So this whole notion of, just pray about it, it has its time, its place. We are to be prayerful. We are to be people of faith. But remember, action is also very important. That's the work element. Another way the church is keeping you single is by putting the fear of men upon your heart, or the fear of women. So sometimes you might have gone to church or heard, pastors and other religious leaders talk about the evils of the opposite sex. And that in itself can cause a barrier and a fear and a paranoia about men. A way in which you can combat this is by talking to the opposite sex, getting to know how they actually think, reading about that other gender. They're not that bad. I promise you, some are, but not everyone is that bad. All these preachers, women will do this, women will lead you to hell, men will do this, men will lead you to hell. Not all people are going to lead you to hell. A very beautiful, functioning relationship will actually point you to the Savior and will probably get you a place in the kingdom of heaven. So let's stop that, putting the fear of the other gender. Yeah? Another way in which the church is keeping you single is the emphasis on how stressful and unpleasant marriage is. I am not married yet, but it is not encouraging when you hear people talk about marriage as if it is this galling yoke, that it is like a prison, it is a place where you cannot grow, it is a place where you'll be oppressed and stressed. And I just wish church folks stopped speaking about marriage like that. One of the earliest institutions we saw in the Bible during the Genesis was the union between Adam and Eve. And yes, Adam, ate that fruit and fell, and that's why I have to pay council tax because of the fall of man. But even with that, Adam, in a not so great way, decided to forsake it all because of a woman. He did not trust God to give him a new Eve, and that's a whole nother story for another day. But even when we read about Adam and Eve, please do correct me if I'm wrong, later on after they leave Eden, there doesn't seem to be anything that suggests that Adam got with anybody else. It does speak about Eve having many other children, and I would assume that was all with Adam. So even after the fall, we still kind of saw an okay marriage. And even fast forward, there's other Bible stories where we see quite decent marriages. Of course, in any marriage there are some parts where we're a bit questionable and a bit somehow, like Rebecca and Isaac started off very well, and then she played this trick on her husband. Yeah, but anyway, other than that, no, but there are great marriages out there, you know, in the Bible and even in real life. I'm sure it might be difficult, but just think about it. There must be at least one decent example of marriage. Even if it's on social media, they don't really count, but even if it's on social media, there are some. A great biblical example is Zipporah and Moses. We don't really speak about them as a couple, but Zipporah literally stopped her man being killed by God. Another great one that we always talk about is the relationship between Ruth and Boaz. After they were married, we don't really hear much about them, so we're going to assume that their marriage was pretty okay. You know, Mary and Joseph, bit of a turbulent situation there, but Mary and Joseph were together until Joseph died. We have Elizabeth, and what is her man's name? Zacchaeus? I can't remember his name, it's gone. Again, he was a bit of a doubting Thomas, doubting, but she stood there by that man. Okay, so there are some positive examples in the Bible and even in real life. Marriage doesn't always have to be doom and gloom. The people I know that are married, they have an okay time. They enjoy themselves. Praise the Lord. Another way the church is encouraging you to be single is by not encouraging healthy relationships and interactions between men and women. When I say relationships, I mean in this context, friendships, you know, just being platonic as possible. They put the fear of the other gender in your heart, as I said previously, and then this disrupts the interactions between men and women, which is quite scary. And I'm gonna need us to stop doing stuff like that, because women, not even in the church, I see this out of the church as well, have these preconceived ideas of what men are like, and men also have these preconceived ideas about what women are like. And some of these things could be banished if there was more interaction between men and women in neutral spaces, so such as Bible study, going to group events, you know, chats online, and making it a point to get to know how the other gender thinks. I think I've said this already, but that in itself is putting fear in one another and is keeping a lot of people single. Have mercy. Another way the church is keeping you single, this one in particular is for my ladies. This encouragement to be unattractive, like physically, okay? Encouraging you to be unattractive. So where am I going with that? If you don't know, I am a massive advocate for modesty, and please ensure that you check out my videos, my playlist where I speak about modesty, I showcase modest outfits. I love dressing up. I really love dressing up and stuff, but trying my utmost to do it in a modest way. I don't always get it right, but sis, I do love to cover up as much as possible, but also have a bit of color here and there. Like today, we are sporting a lovely dress, black and yellow. Keep it modest by having this vest, and because it's really cold, it's like 6 degrees today. It was like 1 degree earlier, but hey, we move. Anyway, so this whole idea, like, women have to cover up completely, right? And then you look very frumpy, you're not wearing clothes that are befitting, you are 25 looking on 55, or you're 35 looking on 75, because you're not dressing in a way that is beautiful, attractive. You're dressing in a way that is aging, and unfortunately it repels men from you. Like, women, listen up. The way you're dressing, some of us, it is a repellent, and it is keeping you single. I'm so sorry to say this. Dress in a way that it is befitting to your body, it is modest, it glorifies God, and it's okay to wear colour. It's not a sin to wear colour, okay? Because some of us will be looking like, I do not even know. I've said this in a previous video, go and watch that video. Looking somehow and be wondering, where is my husband? Sis, we need to get it right. The last but definitely not the least reason why the church is keeping you single is this falsehood that all of us are going to have a Rebecca experience. If you're not that well versed in the Bible, or you're not a Christian and you're watching this, hello everyone who fits into these two categories, there is a story in the Bible. I will leave the where it is on the screen, where there was this man called Isaac who lost his mother and was really upset about it. Then his dad Abraham told his servant Eliezer to go to Abraham's hometown and go and find a wife for his son Isaac. And as a result of him finding a wife for Isaac, Isaac was comforted from the loss of his mother. Okay, so when Eliezer went to find the future wife for Isaac, Eliezer prayed a prayer and said something, you know, Lord, I want the woman to do this, this and this, and let whoever does this, this and this be the person that you have chosen, Lord, for my master's son, Isaac. And God being God, he literally answered the prayer to the T. I think before Eliezer could even like look up fully and finish the prayer, like God had just come through. And I'm not going to give you a spoil. If you haven't yet, go and read it. It's really interesting. Then comes Rebecca, who fits the bill. Fast forward, Rebecca then follows Eliezer back to where Abraham and Isaac were living, and that's how Isaac and Rebecca became a married couple. And the church is I'm sure the church is perpetuating this, that some of us, you know, somebody will just come from the sky and just find us at our doorstep and be like, hello, God has told me to marry you. And if that is you, in some instances, that's probably scary, but I'm sure some people, that's maybe how they have met their person. Some of us do not have counselors, do not have mentors to even help us and guide us to be found or to find somebody. And some of you are thinking you're going to have a Rebecca experience. I'm going to need you to come down cloud 9, come down to reality, get some counselors, get some mentors, sprucing up the way you look, be prayerful, go to this event, talk to this person, be bold and be like, Lord, I want to be married. Please bring my husband, please bring my wife. Speak to these people who have ministries which are centered around bringing people together. Another thing is, another way the church is keeping you single is because people don't believe in matchmaking, and matchmaking does work. We have several examples of it in the Bible. Yeah, so, but with something like that, be extremely prayerful. Be praying to God, ask for direction. Make sure you do a thorough background check on the person you're marrying, and ask the most difficult question and continuously ask God to guide you. So, ladies, gentlemen who are watching, thank you so much for watching. And this was just a little video, a little bit of fun on how and why the church is keeping you single. I hope you found it helpful. Make sure you share this video with at least one friend. Have a good day. Ray.